Well, as you can see there, that's Solim Simanga, of course, speaking about his plan as the re-elected leader of the DA. Let's quickly go to our political analyst, of course, Dr. Levy Ndou, to get some reaction. Now, Dr. Ndou, as you heard from Solim Simanga, he says the newly elected, or his re-election is now set, and they are not focusing on the outcome of the elections for now. Going forward, his focus is on preparing for 2024. What's your reaction?
I think this has been the right moment for the Democratic Alliance to launch their election campaign. 2024 is just around the corner, and I think what they had to do in this conference was to put up a team that will be able to go out there in full force and ensure that they actually win the elections. He is quite correct to say that the internal contestation is over, because if you are going to have members of the party who are going to be hooked up onto the internal contestation, they might be carried away by defeat and anger and end up not supporting the current leadership. My sense is that those who have contested, including Kumera Mribo, and did not make it, they should actually rally behind the current leadership, because in any way, if they want their own party to succeed, they need to support each other.
And let's speak about that particular dynamic. I mean, he, in a rare show of camaraderie, invited Kumera Mribo to the stage to share their experience with him, also thanking him, but also urging party members to not focus too much inwardly, saying that they should unite as they gear up for the upcoming elections. What do you make of that?
Elections, rather party elections or party contestation, has to a certain extent some unintended consequences. If you contest within the party and you take it very personal and take it very far, it has a potential not to unite the party. And that is why sometimes parties should avoid unnecessary contestation and try to convince each other so that they've got a leadership that is supported by everyone. It will be a huge task for those that have been defeated to go fit in and support the current leadership. But political maturity would require them to ensure that they forget today, they rally behind the current leadership, embrace their vision and their program, so that at the end of the day, what becomes the winner is the Democratic Alliance. They should not focus on what has happened in the past. What they should do is to ensure that they build a strong, united Democratic Alliance going forward.
Now, in his remarks, he also ended his statement by saying the road to 2024 elections won't be an easy one, but that the party needs to put in place and also execute this blueprint or this plan to prove to the people of South Africa that the DA is the only alternative to the ANC. Give us your reaction to that, and also provide some context on why Gauteng holds such significance in the broader political landscape of the country.
Let me start with Gauteng. Gauteng holds a lot of significance, not only to the DA, but to the country as such. This is the economic hub of the Republic of South Africa, and most of the activities in South Africa are taking place in Gauteng. But there has been a plan by the DA to say that if after taking over the Western Cape, their next target is Gauteng. That would mean that this is the priority for Solim Simanga to ensure that at the end of the day, they win Gauteng. They need to look at the challenges that made them not to perform well in the two previous elections, the local and the general elections, and actually pick up the pieces from there. This plan for the DA, if it works, it might have a potential for them to become a government. But it's important to emphasize that it's not going to be easy, because it appears as if all political parties would love to ensure that they run Gauteng, and that is the priority for all of them.
Now, in this apparent admission that the party seems to be losing some ground, he has also emphasized the need for party officials to clearly communicate, especially to residents of the country, what the DA stands for and what they will do on matters including the energy crisis, as also including issues around tackling crime in this country as well. What do you make of this seemingly admission to say that, look, we do understand that people may not exactly understand what the DA is about?
My view is that the Democratic Alliance need to develop a very good strategy for communication. And this is based on the fact that the former leaders of the DA who left the party, Mr. Mashaba, Musi Maimane, and other leaders who left the Democratic Alliance, made statements that are very much damning to the party. And that will require a party to develop a very strong response to those statements and try their best to build the trust of ordinary citizens. These people who have left the Democratic Alliance, when they campaign, they will still be talking bad about the Democratic Alliance, and it will require Solim Simang and his team in Gauteng to be able to come up with a strategy that is able to counter what those other political parties are actually going to be saying. They also need to be able to articulate how they are going to be able to work with other political parties as emphasized by Joint Statement, because the Moon Pact appears to be on the cards, and it will also require the Democratic Alliance to be able to convince voters who are coming from other political parties, because cannot be a foregone conclusion that when you talk about the Moon Pact, supporters and members of other political parties might join into that. So it will require the Democratic Alliance to be quite articulative, come with a coherent strategy on this matter, and speak in a manner that everybody else will be able to get confidence in the Democratic Alliance.
Dr. Levy Ndou, let's pause it here, well, at least for now. Dr. Ndou will return a bit later on in the program.